ain't nothing like a funky beat.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Guapish at the Disco. I am your host, King Tanichi, and to my left, one unheavenly creature.
It's me. I'm one of the unheavenly creatures.
And you would not believe it, but to my right is another unheavenly creature.
That's right, everyone. It's me, No Strand Crane.
Dude, and we are doing Vaxis Act 1 Unheavenly Creatures. It's a Coheed and Cambria album from, when's this album? 2018, I believe.
You got it.
This album is incredible. I really like this album. It is this sort of weird sci-fi sort of, I don't know if, would cyberpunk be like an aesthetic like that you would be able to understand?
Yes, but it's electronic, so this doesn't count.
But I mean, like, it does give yeah, no, that is fair. It's very much sci-fi electronic. That's fair. I guess what I want to say is like punk. Like, this main guy gives me like grunge vibes from his voice. I really like this fucking album. I don't know if we're gonna break it down track by track, but it's
we're not.
15 tracks. It was a very good hour and 20 minutes, and it's packed with a whole bunch of fucking lore and story and fucking bullshit. It's packed with a whole bunch of substance. How we feeling about this, Jackson?
Man, this is gonna sound retarded, just prefacing my initial comment with that. I didn't listen, or I wasn't paying attention too deeply to the lyrics at all, so I genuinely just don't get the sci-fi cyberpunk aesthetic whatsoever. It just sounds like fucking rock music for the most part. But I'm sure if I was paying more attention to the lyrics, that would make more sense. I read the lyrics of a few songs that I thought were standouts for myself. But yeah, it just sounds like rock, to be honest. This is maybe going to sound fucking sacrilegious, but I feel like the Starset album stuck more to its theme than this one did. But I'm fucking probably just crazy for that, because I, again, wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics super deeply. Anywho, speaking of Starset...
I think I kind of agree with you there. Like, they don't even have any theremins on this album. How are you going to be space-themed and not have a theremin?
That's fucking facts, man. Honestly, when you were selling this as like a sci-fi metal or sci-fi rock album, I definitely expected maybe a bit more experimentation with the actual music. But for the most part, it's kind of by the numbers with its genre. Not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but you know.
Because I think the experimentation is more with the concept of the album and the lyrics. Ooh, I hit my microphone. I apologize. I think the experimentation is more with the lyrics and the overall presentation of the album. Yeah, dude, the Dark Sentencer one for a sci-fi theme. I mean, it lays out some fucking hellish prison planet, like, and their breakout. Like, that's pretty fucking sci-fi, in my opinion.
I was going to say, the Dark Senator one is one of the songs that I did listen to the lyrics of, and that one had a definitely more of a feel than other ones, where there is like a lot of songs that are like, this is just a love song.
Yeah. Damn. That is, you could break this album down to that. Yeah. I would say it's how that idea of love is spread out and projected. But you guys think Starset did love better than...
Well, don't put words in Tanner's mouth.
Space better.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I think the Transmissions album fit its overall what the theme was trying to be more than this one. But I will say they're both very consistent albums. They stick to a very similar theme with most of the songs. Some of them have more experimentation with the the instruments and their presentation. Like, I think the big standout one in that regard is like Lucky Stars. That is a like completely different genre feeling than the whole rest of the album, which I guess kind of works for a closer. But for the most part, they're pretty by the numbers, I would say. And I would say I probably enjoy this a little more than the Starset album. They certainly do a bit more in terms of variety, but it is... The big issue I have with this is it definitely does feel very samey, unfortunately. Also, this is my first Coheed and Cambria album, so that's probably just a victim of that problem in general. I wouldn't say I dislike this album though. I think it's fine. I think the big standout thing, this should be unsurprising, is just the vocal performance. I like the guy singing. I think he does a good job. I think he's got quite the range, even though he sticks to a very similar style for most of these tracks. And he puts some real emotion into some of these songs, and I definitely think that that's what the focus of the band is for the most part too. Absolutely. Like sometimes, like the songs can follow a pretty similar structure where it's like an interesting kind of experimental intro, and then it goes into it's like kind of, I don't want to say generic, but generic rock soundtrack with the guy singing lyrics, and then it cuts back to like experimental kind of instrumentals, and that's basically what most of the songs are like. And you can tell like they want to focus on this guy's voice because they thin out the mix pretty substantially most of the time when he starts singing, which it makes sense. Yeah, I think it works. I'm definitely more of a music guy than I am a vocals guy, though, which you guys probably know at this point. That definitely detracts a little bit, mostly just because the music in this album is, I don't want to say generic, but it's got some very samey portions of it, and it's got some experimentation, but it's not maybe as much as I would have liked. And the vocals are good, but I don't think they carry me a crazy amount. End of my thoughts.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad set. You want to talk before I yap, Tanner?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page as Jackson. I thought this album was kind of whatever, and I will call it generic. It's just kind of like, this era rock music, I think my biggest problem with this album is I feel like their commitment to the whole storytelling thing is actually getting in the way of their lyricism and especially their vocal delivery in a way that I don't like. Oh! And also they don't tell the story in a straightforward way. It's a lot of metaphors and you having to piece stuff together, and I just don't like that. And it kind of makes me think of, there's another band that also does a big sci-fi epic story called Glory Hammer, but they just spell things out for you, so it's actually you can actually listen to the song and follow along with the story without having to go ask ChatGPT what's going on in the album, and I feel like that works for me more.
Tanner, pause.
And
Did
one
you
other
get
thing,
stat checked?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
I didn't know what the fuck was going on after just listening to it by myself. I think I vaguely got the sense of the whole there's these characters in a prison, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Weird.
I mean, yeah, and they're in love. I don't know if you caught that part.
Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, who's to say. The other thing is a lot of these songs just sound like church music.
No,
contemporary Christian, non-denominational. There's a guy with an electric guitar in church music,
Yeah, if I was trying to get millennials into church music, I could replace Dark Sentencer with Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. That's fire. Now I want to hear Christian fucking rock music like this. Fuck.
The song The Pavilion specifically sounds insanely similar to many Christian songs I've heard in church before. Just in the rhythm and cadence.
Genuinely, when I was listening to that shit, I was genuinely thinking Skillet.
Yeah. I don't even mean that, because Skillet songs aren't getting played in church. I mean, there's literal songs that get played in a church that sound similar to a lot of
when I
stuff.
say that, I more meant just the vibes with some Skillet songs, especially specifically in that Rise album, were very this is a very cheesy Christian song.
A church event where they want to stress being comfortable. I can see them playing Skillet in the background. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of see them playing this as well. That's a fair point.
Yeah, and also I'm glad Jackson liked the guy's voice. I wasn't super into it, so there wasn't a whole ton in this album for me to glom onto.
That's fair. Now it's time for me to yap. So, dude, they said some things I agree with, some things I do not. I think this album is really good. I think this album is really good because I would say it's good because they do stick to their theme. I do like Coheed when they don't do this shit, though. I will admit. There are several single tracks from albums that on its own I can listen to and even have on my liked songs playlist just on their own that I can't listen to like this as a unit. You know what I mean? Like listening to the prologue transition into Dark Sentencer, then into Unheavenly Creatures, like I would stop there versus then getting Toys and Black Sunday. It's when you get deeper into this album, when you get to True Love and Love Protocol and even The Pavilion and even The Gutter. I really like The Gutter. It's those albums that I sort of get snapped back into the tone of this album, into the vibe of this album, and even to this band. They do this a lot. This is like one of their main gimmicks, is this storytelling and this lore and this sort of building you up. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, in my opinion. But in this one, they do it so fucking well. Jesus. I like.
Here, let me just say a little thing real quick while you're thinking of what you're wanting to say. I looked up what the basic overview of the story for their little universe here is, and I found it very funny that the lead guy who's writing it has 2 self-insert characters, one of whom is literally named after himself. It's very funny to me.
Yeah, this is also another point that I have. This story is also difficult to hold on to because it's very much someone else's fanfic that you listen to this guy sing out and you're here for this guy. I said this in another point previously to Jackson. Probably should stop saying shit like this if I want to hype these albums up. But he is like a gem of this band. Like hearing him sing is like the gift. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. For Tanner, it didn't work, which is interesting because now I want to choose a grunge album just to see how he likes those. But yeah, I think that older grunge sound meets this new rock wave, and for some people it hits and for some people it doesn't. I really like it though. I really like it.
I am curious because prior to this recording, I remember you sounding not super confident in this pick. What changed in like the last week for you?
The Gutter. Genuinely, The Gutter. They tied Sanchez back to being the Vaxxus arc of other albums, and then it just pulled me back that I was like, fuck, if I want more of this, they got 15 other albums of this shit. I don't have to stop here at this. And I appreciate that because it's very often with sort of my favorite kind of music is really raw underground shit. Like I enjoy a lot of mainstream stuff, but I mean, you guys see some of my favorite album picks. It's British fucking rappers, and then it's like obscure rock shit. One of my favorite rock bands, it was a fucking band called Control for a very long time.
Is it not that anymore?
So, no, it's not that anymore.
Brutal, dude. I had that one in the fucking trap, the friendship trap. I can't forget this.
This is key. No, but it reminds me of just that artist that puts out shit after shit after shit after shit, and some of it isn't good, but some of it is. And when I remember the Vaxxus stuff, it takes me back to high school of literally digging through these guys' fucking shit, trying to find good albums. And that's how my liked songs list got so diversified, was just having so many songs from different albums added, and just the mixing being like, oh, if you like this, then you might like this and you might like that, and just that ability to branch off from this album. I just gotta, I don't know, I fucking love it. I really like it. I wasn't confident in it before because I wasn't confident in the band's ability to portray the story, but then this, like, I was listening to it reinforced how good the story was to me, and that wasn't my main focus. It was whether or not you guys liked the vocalist compared to the lore, because I figured the lore was going to be hit or miss regardless.
Dude, I didn't give a shit about the lore, but I thought the vocalist was good, so it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, and Tanner didn't give a shit about any of it.
Hell yeah.
Should we go into our likes and least favorites?
I guess before that I will say that I keep comparing this one to the fucking Starset album. I don't intend to be doing this, but it just is the nature of them both being like sci-fi rock albums. Anywho, the big problem I had with like the Starset album is that like there were some songs I thought were good, but like most of that album was like very skippable for me. I couldn't see myself like returning to it at all. And like it's so samey that I could not just ever listen to it again. And this one is largely the same, but I will say that there are more standout songs for me, or not, maybe I don't know if I'd say standout. It's kind of hard to describe. There's more songs that I've listened to by themselves outside of the context of the album, I guess, than the Transmissions one, which I think is good. Like, I think plenty of these songs in a vacuum I would like a lot more than listening to them inside this album for an hour and like almost 20 minutes. Which leads me to my favorite song of this album. Honestly, I don't really even know if this is like a super solidified pick for myself, but I would probably say The Gutter. That one, maybe I even like it for a bad reason, but genuinely it was just because it felt like it was in kind of a dry spell in the album where a lot of the songs felt very similar to me. And I got to that one, and it was just a very different vibe. I think the groove was fun. I felt like a breath of fresh air at that point. I just had a good time with it. I think it's a good song. That one stood out to me quite a bit.
I agree.
And my least favorite, this is...
Can I guess?
Go for it. What do you think it is?
Was it Love Protocol?
It wasn't Love Protocol. It was Toys. I did not like Toys. Genuinely, here's my description that I wrote for Toys. It's not like that crazy, but I wrote Andrew WK ass beat with a better vocal performance. Not crazy about this one. Very funny transition back into the main beat with a cool guitar solo layered, and then there's a weird ass ending transition. Yeah, all I was like, I listened to that song and immediately I was like, this sounds like fucking Andrew WK, and I was like, it was so funny to me, and I just could not get it out of my head the entire time. There was like that one cool part that I said where they had like the main beat with like a solo in the background that was layered on top of it. Better than that, wasn't a crazy big fan of that song. It was kind of bad. If I didn't say that one, it would probably be Old Flames. I don't really like that one either, except for the fact that I feel like that one, when I look at the album art, I think of that song, Old Flames, but I wasn't crazy about the song in general.
That's fair. Come on, Tanner.
Funnily enough, I would say that my favorite was Love Protocol, just because that's the loudest and the fastest song on the album, so obviously it appeals to me a bit more. My least favorite...
Queen of the Dark.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I have like 3 ties, or I have 4 songs that I gave 3 out of 10s, and like none of them stand out to me almost whatsoever, so I can't even say
all of them.
Sure. It's Queen of the Dark, True Ugly, Nighttime Walkers, and All on Fire.
Interesting. I quite liked Queen of the Dark. It's interesting to see 1 out of 3.
My favorite was also The Gutter. It was a very difficult pick between that and The Dark Seducer, though. The Dark Seducer. It was very hard. I really like The Dark Seducer. It's the one that got me into this album. A surprising one that I didn't expect to like, but then really started to like it, like on my second to third, was Unheavenly Creatures. I don't know. I don't know. I like fucking pop.
I told you, Tinichi, right, that I got that part of that song got stuck in my head for a long ass time. The stupid fucking chorus.
Listening to it, I was like, how is this stuck in his head? And then I was like, oh no, I get it.
It's catchy, dude. It's just like a catchy little like poppy rock song. It's fun. It's got like a chiptune intro too. Very interesting.
My least favorite was also fucking Toys. I didn't like it.
Dude, we're so alike.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think the best part of it was also the guitar. But other than that, I fucking skipped this song. I skipped this one and Black Sunday on my last pick, on my last listen.
Dude, fuck Black Sunday. I don't really like that one either, too. Though I think that the standout part of that song for me is just his like way of saying "for you" to you. He just says it in such a fucking like smarmy way. I don't like it. It just like annoys me whenever I get to that part.
I think the song's just fucking boring.
I agree.
I think it's just fucking boring. It sounds like a fucking WWE. Like, the intro reminds me of like some WWE wrestler intro. Like, every time I listen to it, I think, damn, I don't know who's coming out to this, but they're definitely not winning the belt at WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
I will say, this song definitely, this is gonna sound bad, but this song definitely like hyped me up a bit, and then I immediately got put down. Like, I think Prologue is an interesting start to the album, and I think I like Dark Signature quite a bit. I think the transition between those two tracks is cool too, and then obviously the title track I think was good. I don't think it's anything like super crazy or anything, but I think it's fun, it's catchy, it's a good song. And then he goes right to Toys, and I was like, fuck! And then goes into Black Sunday. Like, I don't really care for this one either. Then Queen of the Dark is like a bit of a reprieve, and then for like basically the rest of the album, like I don't give a fuck about any of this until the gutter. And then I didn't really care about the rest of the ending too.
I agree. I agree. With the exception of fucking the Pavilion, I agree.
Yeah.
I was like, this shit is all kind of meh. And then I get to the Pavilion and I'm like, damn, this is really good. The way this keeps the momentum like going throughout the song, I really fucking like it. And then I get to Nighttime and I'm like, damn, dude, this shit, why slow the fucking shit down? And then I get to the gutter and I'm like, all right, we're back. Let's get our overall numbers in. I feel like this album's gonna rank overall like a 7.
You think it's gonna rank overall a 7? That's so optimistic. Who do you think's the lowest on it, Tanner?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lay it on us.
Give it to us, Tanner.
I am, in fact, the lowest on it. I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Oof.
Unsurprisingly, I'm the second lowest. I was debating between a 4 and a 5. I think I do like this one a little bit more than the Starset album, so I'm going to give it a 5, which is still, not particularly great. Like I said, I think there are a good amount of songs in this that I would listen to in a vacuum, but like the album listening experience is not particularly great for me. Like, there's some standouts, but they get like leveled out because of that.
I agree. I gave this album a fucking 8 out of 10. I feel like 8 is good. I really like Coheed. I really like the singer. I like the story. I like the guitarist. I liked most of the choruses, and I like this album better on my second listen, which is why I didn't give this album like another point, because I think it needs to do better on that first listen. And I think the only way to do it at that state would have been to remove songs, which probably would have hurt the overall. So I think 8's pretty good. Yeah, dude, what is that rank overall, Jack?
That puts it, I'm going to kill you. That puts it at a 5.7 out of 10, which is the same rank as Matori and White Pony. Just slightly behind Ornithology, of course, as well.
Ornithology beating these albums out is very good for his legacy.
That shit's fucking ridiculous, personally. But, I can't. That's neither here nor there.
Ornithology was a banger. I would never forget, if these monkeys get out of hand, I will slap them with my banana.
Dude, half of that album was fucking ass. I think you guys are smoking. But, it's fine. That's why this is an opinionated show, right? That's why my ranking can be filtered by your guys, so you can see the correct list. Anyways, if we have nothing else to talk about with that song, then I'm going to go into my pick. Congrats, guys. It's not a Japanese song. Not because I went out of my way to not pick a Japanese song, but just because it was a random pick that got selected that wasn't Japanese. And it is the 2018 album by the band Rivers of Nile, Where Owls Know My Name. Take us away, Tenichi.
Wow, that sure is a collection of words.
Tenichi, this is where you outro.
Oh shit, people, goodbye. Fuck, you're still listening? Say some
Bye-bye.
parts.
Dude, he did a Deadpool reference. Bye.